So welcome to Talkin Ball Game Day episode week 7. So what a week last week was. A bunch of upsets, but I don't know if this week's going to live up to the hype of what that week was. But as you can see, we have a special guest on set with us, our sponsor, Brother Cam Smith.
Thank you, Cam.
Always. But yeah, thank you, Cam, for sure, for sponsoring us. He also has a special message for all those that are 65 and older, I think. So go ahead, turn it over to you, Cam.
Not really all 65 and over, but
well.
I can help people under 65 too with certain things. But with American Senior Benefits, I want to let everybody know tomorrow starts the day for open enrollment for Medicare for anybody over 65.
Yeah, I'll have to get on that.
Any and I know if anybody over 65 is watching this show, sorry, but anyway, it is what it is. I mean, 65 and older, be able to help you, be able to talk about all your options when it comes to Medicare, when it comes to your final expense coverage, when it comes to anything insurance related, as long as it's not home or auto, I can help you with that as far as your retirement, 401k rollovers, that type of thing. That's what we specialize in, and I appreciate you having me as a sponsor.
Yes, sir. He also has the, just as he's informed me many times, the Just Jesus Radio Network. Tell us a little bit about that.
Just Jesus Radio Network was formed in 2016, and it was turned over to me and my wife in 2019. It is an internet-based radio station. It is an internet-based streaming radio station. There is an app that goes with it, Just Jesus Radio Network. If you look it up on your Apple phone or your Android device, you have to type in Just Jesus Radio Network in order to do that. We have podcasting as well. If you missed somebody's message that you wanted to hear, like Brother David here, he's on at 8:30 every Saturday morning. Thank you.
That's right.
And and he's on at 8:30 every Saturday morning. If you miss his broadcast live, you can go back anytime through the week and listen to it again. We have the best in Southern Gospel radio. We don't have a lot of other stuff, but we do have we do have the best in Southern Gospel. It's no country, none of that stuff. It's just Jesus Radio Network.
We actually have a good many people that have actually commented and said that they not only enjoy the show, but they like how we mix the Christian into it.
Yeah.
So they definitely enjoy that. But yeah, and stay tuned. Cam's going to be our guest picker this week. So
In-house
guest picker. So
We'll
get up with that in just a minute. So let's dive into this, boys. Go ahead and start with our upset pick of the week. So I'll go ahead and start with a big one. No, we're letting Dave start.
No,
go
you
ahead.
start.
No, go ahead, Dave.
No, you can start.
You'll go ahead, Dave.
That'd be good if you want to start.
Dave's got to get his start.
Exactly. See, he want to complain. He'll never get a start first.
In my defense, okay, look, I got home from work, and everybody was here to record. So I didn't have any time to prep today, in my defense. I want to make that known.
You're right.
Yeah, I know I am.
Okay.
All right, kick us off, Dow.
Dave?
The little fiddle.
Yeah, so
Honestly, I thought you got like an eye booger out or something. I don't know what you did.
So.
Wait, not on SpongeBob where they played
Yeah,
the
it had
words?
to be. I can see
All
that.
right, so my upset pick. Go ahead and start with a big upset.
alert.
Upset alert,
Come on,
sorry.
Dow, you better than
My
that.
upset alert is
Wow.
Tennessee over Ole Miss. Not necessarily saying that Ole Miss. Yes, Tennessee over Ole Miss. Making sure you look at
Yeah, I was trying to mess you up.
yeah. Not necessarily saying that Tennessee pulls the upset. We'll get into that in just a little bit, but definitely high scoring affair. Keeps it close. I think Tennessee's last 3 games, they've put up 50. Last 3 wins. Sorry, put up 56, 62, and 45.
Now, their offense
Bunch
is
of points.
moving, and Josh Heupel, is that how you say his name?
Yeah.
He's an offensive genius.
Yeah, no, he is.
I believe he's calling the
So
plays.
Ole Miss better watch out coming off a win against Arkansas. Don't go into Neyland and count your chickens for the hatch.
Well, my upset alert is going to be Texas over Oklahoma State. We saw that Texas, and in God's honesty, they should have beat Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Had
every opportunity.
And yeah,
too.
their offense has been absolutely rolling. Just as Josh Heupel with Tennessee is an offensive genius, so is Steve Sarkisian.
Yep.
And he's doing great things with Casey Thompson, and they have the best running back in the country, Bijan Robinson. He has to be there for another year because of eligibility. So watch out.
I think he can win the Heisman.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Watch out for Texas next year for sure. But I think they beat Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State has slipped by pretty much every game they've won. I mean, I think they beat Boise State like 21-20. Then they won the next game like 24-23. They're just easing by, and I think Texas's offense is good enough, and I think they're going to upset Oklahoma State this week.
I think Texas is favored in that game too. They're the 25th ranked team.
Yeah, and OK
Yeah.
State's 12.
Texas by 4.
Yeah, but I mean, I still consider that an upset because it's 25 over 12.
Absolutely.
25
Yeah.
over 12.
I'll still rock with it.
It's absolutely still upset.
Go ahead, Dave.
There's actually a good number of and the way of options, and the way this year is going, this could be a weekend of upsets.
Yeah.
I mean, if it just keeps going the way
There's
it's
not a
going,
lot of big matchups this week. It's in like
right.
you know.
But if you think about it, what I'm going to go with, I'm going to say not necessarily that happens, but keep an eye on it. Indiana over Michigan State.
I thought about that.
I like that pick. I do.
Indiana, we saw what they could do last year, and it's really a lot of the same team. They didn't really lose a lot. The
Yeah.
same coaching staff. It's just not going as well. And we're trying. Everyone's in the world. Why is Indiana so bad? Well, Indiana has still got a lot of talent.
Yeah,
They're
they
just
do.
not looking very
And
good.
even against Cincinnati in the first like 3 quarters, they hung with
Yep.
them. I mean,
Yeah.
really, it was a back and forth game.
Looked
Yeah,
like for a while they
and-
could beat them.
Yeah.
Michigan State's that team this year. What are they, number 10 now?
Yep.
That nobody's talking about.
No,
they're
nobody.
still undefeated, and I think that's a good thing if you're Michigan State. that
absolutely.
nobody
And the job Mel Tucker's done.
that nobody's
Hats
talking
off to
about
him.
you.
Hats
I
off to
mean,
Mel Tucker, all over him.
if they run the table, they're in.
Yeah.
No doubt.
No,
I
absolutely.
mean,
they are.
They can-
win the Big Ten championship.
Yeah, even if they end up slipping up, as long as they still win the Big Ten championship,
Yeah,
they're probably
exactly.
still in the way
And
the
just
season's
while
going.
we're on the subject, I'll peek at their schedule.
I know. I
It's
think
starting to get pretty rough.
yeah, they have because I know they had to play Ohio
Right.
State. They had to play Michigan.
Michigan.
I mean,
Well, they
if you-
probably
got
Penn State,
Indiana this
probably.
week, Michigan. They got Michigan at home. They'll play Maryland at home. That should be an easy W.
Yeah.
They go to Ohio State, and they got Penn State at home.
So I mean, they
That's
got a
tough,
tough
though.
little stretch.
If
though.
they can, man,
If they
that's
get
tough.
through that and can go 12-1 with a
Oh,
conference
absolutely.
title,
Yeah.
they're in.
And
No,
like
100%.
brother Tim
Easily.
said it well again. Last week, I think so. I think the Big Ten is going to beat themselves up. I mean,
Yeah,
beat,
they've
beat,
already-
beat,
they've already
that.
do
beat
it.
each other up.
Yeah.
I mean, you got Michigan State, you got Ohio State, you got Iowa, Penn State, you've got Ohio State, you got all those good teams
we
that
do
are.
got Iowa.
Yeah, I was in the Big
Yeah.
Ten. So I mean, it's anybody's race in
Absolutely
there.
is.
Without rambling, and we're doing a little bit of that's fine. Next week will be Michigan State. If they're both 7-0,
It's gonna be a good
It's gonna
game.
be, it's
That'll
gonna
be
be
a
a
And
good
both
money
of those
game.
teams are under the radar right now. Nobody's
Yeah, they are.
nobody's really talking about them. But we'll move on to the team or player that I'm sleeping on, and it kind of goes along with my upset alert.
the game actually not
Um,
next week. It's 2 weeks from now because bye weeks. Sorry.
You're right.
It's all right.
I'm sleeping on the Ole Miss defense. Ole Miss.
That's pretty fair.
Ole Miss,
Yeah.
Ole Miss gave up 51 points last week to Arkansas.
To add to that, I'll take that with you.
Yeah,
I think everybody in the country will be sleeping on Ole Miss.
right. And I don't see him stopping. I mean, I could see South Carolina have a better defense than Ole Miss by far, and they give up 38 and should have give up more. But like I said just a minute ago, the last 3 wins that Tennessee's had is 56, 62, and 45. Their offense is rolling. They're
Oh, yeah, it
clicking
is.
right now. I
Hendon
don't.
Hooker is absolutely balling.
I don't see. Yeah, he has the number 1 QBR in the
Wow.
SEC and the 5th best QBR in the nation right now. And I don't see Ole Miss's defense is stopping them. High scoring affair. And we'll get to the picks in just a little bit.
I'm sleeping on Mississippi State. They're playing Alabama, and I don't think Nick Saban probably hasn't lost back-to-back games since he played Pee Wee football. I would say that's
don't
probably
know when he
safe to
has.
say. I mean, obviously I say that jokingly, but a lot of people are saying, "What if Bama loses back-to-back? What if they're
Yeah,
not
because
losing?"
Mississippi State beat Texas A&M
Yeah,
last week. and then
I
Texas
could
A&M
care less. They're
There's
not
no
losing.
transitive property in college football.
No, they're
Yeah.
not losing to Mississippi State.
No.
Alabama's going to blow the doors off of Mississippi State. I'm absolutely snoozing on Mississippi
Let's
State.
just ask the question that if they do,
Well, then,
is Nick Saban fixing to head out?
Nah.
no.
Probably just feel the fire. Yeah. When you got Bryce Young and you got that recruiting class, he's just waiting.
Bama's the only team in the nation that when they lose, people get scared. Like I mean, that's,
right.
that's the
Clemson
thing.
lost, and we're like, oh, we're downhill now.
Yeah.
Alabama loses, they're like, oh,
They're
you
like-
better watch out because you're fixing to kill
Exactly.
you. Like they're fixing to open up a can. On,
Yeah,
on,
they are.
So I'm
on-
gonna
on-
add-
Absolutely.
Sorry, Mississippi State.
I'm going to add to where we've already peaked at and talked about. I'm going to say I'm sleeping on Oklahoma State. They're extremely overhyped.
I like that.
Way overhyped, and I think it's honestly ludicrous. And just to talk about what they've done, all right, they have beat Missouri State by a touchdown, 23-16.
No, straight squeaking by.
Tulsa by 5, 28-23. Boise State by 1, 21-20.
Wow.
Kansas State 31-20. So we're talking about Oklahoma State here. Baylor 24-14. Have you noticed they haven't scored over 31 points,
No.
and they're
Yeah.
averaging about 20?
You're
Right.
gonna have to score
We're
more
talking
than
about
that to beat
Oklahoma
Texas.
State
Yeah, you
here.
have
We're
to
not
get a lot
talking
more
about
Texas.
Georgia. We're not talking
Their
about
offense is usually prolific.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're not talking about South Carolina. We're not talking about Auburn, and where yes, maybe the offense is bad, but they have a great defense. No. We're talking about Oklahoma State, the team that's supposed to be scoring 50, 60 points.
Yeah.
The Oklahoma State of the past is dropping bombs
Right.
left and right, scoring 40, 50 points a game. Georgia's offense is worlds better.
Oh,
Oklahoma
absolutely.
State right now.
Yeah,
I think Texas blows the doors
I can
off
see that.
Oklahoma.
Especially coming off a heartbreaking loss last
Right.
week.
Because I can forgive week one if you come off of it.
Oh yeah,
But they scored 23 week one, and literally have only scored 30.
once.
That's pitiful.
Yeah.
And you're letting teams like Tulsa hang with
around.
you.
Yeah.
23 to 28.
At Texas.
I will say this. Obviously, I definitely agree with you. As Texas was my upset alert, but an underrated coach is Mike Gundy, Oklahoma State.
I
agree.
He's a heck of a coach, no doubt. But I agree with you. I definitely be sleeping on Oklahoma State.
Yeah,
as
I'm
well.
gonna take Texas big. I think Texas is gonna respond. They gave away the game last week. I'll say that's when a talented backup comes in. The pressure's on the defense.
Absolutely
You're not
it is.
prepared at all for him.
Yep.
You're not ready for him, and you really don't know anything about him, especially a freshman. But Texas is going to win this game, and they're going to blow the doors.
Speaking of that talented freshman, that is my breakout player of the week.
Caleb Williams.
I'm not sure if he's starting or not. And they asked Lincoln Riley.
Who
and
they got
Lincoln
this
Riley,
week?
TCU.
Okay, that'll be a good
Yeah,
game.
which,
for real.
by the way, if you haven't seen TCU's new unis for this
They're pretty
week,
sick.
dude,
They always have good unis.
they're sick.
They do.
Let me go ahead and do this.
Well, and here's what I say with Caleb Williams. I do think Spencer Rattler probably starts.
See, I
Ju-
don't.
ju- just
I
be-
disagree
just because
wholeheartedly.
he's the experienced one, but I don't think he plays long. And I think and here's what I think. I think Caleb Williams comes in. I think he shows out, and I think he earns a starting job for the rest of
Here's
the
what
year.
I believe happens. I believe Spencer Rattler does not even touch the field unless it's a blowout. I believe Caleb Williams takes the first snap. I believe he takes the last snap. Every snap in between.
And I'll go in between. I think Caleb Williams gets a start, and I think he gets the majority of the playing time as he should. I think he's the better pick or the better choice at quarterback. But I think Spencer Rattler comes in for a couple packages, kind of like we saw against Texas.
Yeah.
But just, I mean, they brought Spencer
We're
Rattler
talking
in for
about
that
Lincoln
two-point
Riley here.
conversion. That's what I'm saying. But I think Caleb Williams is by far the better option.
Yeah.
This
I do too. But I think
We'll see. We got three different little options.
yeah.
We'll see what happens.
But I definitely think after this game, he starts from every game on. I think he does enough
Absolutely.
to earn the
I
starting
agree.
position.
And
this
then it'll be a good conversation as to where old Rattler's going to be transferring to.
week. Clemson.
Hey, in DJ, I trust.
Yeah,
baby.
I was gonna say, would you
I don't
actually
think no,
take,
he's not. He's not going to Clemson. Well, I don't think he's transferring to Clemson because he wants to go somewhere where he's.
Well, you got
gonna-
to think if Spencer were to transfer. For one, I trust in DJ more than I trust in Spencer. It ain't like he's been playing good. I mean, they've both been playing bad.
Yeah,
and then
that's
who's
true.
going to transfer after that? Because you got Cade Klumnick coming in. You'd have DJ his junior year. So
that's
somebody
true.
transferring
Yeah,
there.
That's true. And I mean, what would be the point of Spencer Rattler coming because we're not
Hey,
going to the playoff?
I trust my Polynesian quarterback, DJ Uyonglele.
Polynesian sauce is
Trust
pretty
him.
good.
Bro
It-
just
it
called him
great.
Polynesian. We're gonna get canceled.
That's what he is.
Yeah, he is Polynesian. Ain't no wrong.
Polynesian?
Yeah,
I didn't know that was a race. I thought that was a sauce you get at Chick-fil-A.
That's
It
both.
is, but it's a race. Yeah,
It's a
they're,
good
So
Pol-
we should cancel Chick-fil-A.
they're Polynesian.
So we're eating Polynesians.
Now we're getting.
now we're getting
Now we're
canceled.
getting
All right, who's your breakout player?
Breakout player is somebody that all three of us have ragged on a good bit this year. And we've definitely ragged on their team, and we've
Ooh.
known for
I'm
it.
trying to think.
Emory Jones, Florida's
Ah.
quarterback. I think he has a great game this week. We've seen that
I
LSU's in shambles. I don't think long till Edo is fired, as you are gonna. Well, I guess that's kind of futuristic. I've not predicted something in the future.
Man.
But anyhow, let me get back to what I was saying. I think Emory Jones and Florida runs all over LSU. That's what I
This is a
think.
You can read my mind.
I could, but that's my breakout player, Emory Jones.
Dave.
Man, there's another week where there's several options, and there's a lot I could choose from, and I
Choose
kind of wanted to go with Missouri's quarterback, but I'm gonna go with KJ Jefferson from Arkansas.
I like that pick.
It's kind of almost like a no-brainer. As bad as Auburn's secondary is, and as good as he's playing, I think KJ has a big day. I think they put up a bunch of points on Auburn. I think you'll see him score in the 40s, maybe the high 30s. John thinks something's funny. It's not funny, John. This is serious stuff.
You're right.
No, I'm
Oh,
sick of
Johnson.
this. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not kidding. Anyways, we'll talk after this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think KJ has a big day. I think we'll see him have 300 yards passing and maybe have 50 or 60 yards rushing. KJ's an absolute stud.
So now to our picks. All right, so we'll go ahead and jump straight into our picks.
I got turkey mounts in there.
As always, we update you on
Oh, we're starting.
on the
Keep rolling.
on the records. So Brother Tim went 5-1 last week, so still
Pretty solid was tough as a week.
pretty solid. So still leading is Kyle at 6-0. The updated records for me, Dave and John is I'm 26-9, John's 26-9, and Dave's falling behind at 23 and I think 10. Yeah.
See, that's a bunch of junk. And the fact of the matter is, for one, this is rigged, and I'm convinced that every week you change my picks. Second off,
we have all the picks right there, so we can go back and.
Second off,
You're literally last in our other group chat too, so that kind of coincides.
See, now this
I think
really
it's like
makes me
second to
look
last.
bad.
Give you some credit.
Yeah.
But like I feel good about my picks. But
do.
granted,
That
last
don't mean it's somebody else's fault.
Yeah, exactly.
but granted, last week I did kind of, or was it the week before? I kind
I
of
think it was
went,
a week before.
I kind of went really like stupidly bold.
You were pretty bold.
Yeah, you did.
I hit on the Georgia game though.
Yeah. So we'll go ahead and dive straight into this. And Cam, we always let the guest picker
I
start.
gotta do
So
better.
who are you taking in the Clemson at Syracuse? Who you taking?
I want to take Syracuse, but I'm going to take Clemson.
Any reason why? Just because?
Because the last time Clemson played at Syracuse on a Friday night, it didn't end so well.
It's true.
And that they are at Syracuse, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
That place is
In the Carrier
weird.
Dome.
Yeah.
So it gets loud. It gets very tough. But Syracuse doesn't have it this year. I think Clemson takes it. They had a bye week as well.
Yeah.
I think they've probably figured some things out. They better have if they want to have a good rest of the year. But I'm going to take Clemson.
Okay. Dave,
Syracuse gave Wake Forest.
you better keep to your word 'cause you told me what you were picking.
Syracuse gave Wake Forest
Everything they wanted.
everything they could have.
Overtime loss.
And Wake Forest is ranked in the top 20, aren't they?
Yeah.
Wake Forest is probably the best team in the ACC right now.
Yeah,
Which
probably.
is sad.
I'm gonna be honest with you
That's
here.
sad.
Yeah.
The bye week is a big deal. But the Clemson team, if we see the same Clemson team that played Boston College, NC State, and Georgia Tech, Clemson loses.
They'll lose. I agree with that.
But did the bye week really change a whole lot? I'm going to roll with Syracuse. A Friday night on the road, I don't even want to go play at nobody, especially not a conference game. I'm going to roll with Syracuse.
John?
Well, I mean, as David said and Cam kind of mentioned earlier, we saw what happened last time we played on a Friday night in the Carrier Dome, and we actually had a half-decent offense. We had a pulse back then, even with Kelly Bryant. But I can't pick against Clemson, and I went back and watched that Syracuse-Wake Forest game. Their quarterback is like Johnny Manziel. He can scramble like crazy. They have a legitimate running back, and that kind of scares me a little bit, but I'm still going to have to roll with the Tigers.
I'm also going with my team, Clemson, but close. Clemson wins a close game. All right, Cam. Vandy at South Carolina.
I think South Carolina will come back and recover from last week's debacle, especially in the first quarter. I don't think they will cover.
What is the spread?
The spread's 18.
Yeah, 18.
I think it's going to be closer than people realize, than people want it to be.
No.
Which, with South Carolina, being a South Carolina fan for 43 years,
Right.
I think I should be able to get an NIL deal for this mess for what I've had to put
I
up
can agree with that.
for the last 43 years. So,
Therapeutic.
but I'll take South Carolina, but I think it'll be closer than what the spread is.
Dave?
South Carolina owes their fans a trauma NIL contract. Trauma recovery or something. I'm going to go South Carolina big. Vandy's terrible. I'm going to say, we all know that the South Carolina team, we know they could come out and score 60, and we know they could come out and score 6. I mean, it's just South Carolina. I'm going to say South Carolina big, though, at home. I don't know what time the game is at 12.
at 4 o'clock.
4, yeah.
That's kind of a weird time, but I'm going to roll with South Carolina big.
I'm going to go with South Carolina as well. South Carolina does have a pretty good defense. Now, they came out terrible in the first half against Tennessee, but we saw in the second half they looked a lot better. I don't think they necessarily blow out Vanderbilt, but I think they get right about where the spread's at.
Yeah, I agree with that. South Carolina, close for a half, I do think, but I think they pull away in the second half. Cam, Auburn at Arkansas.
This is a tricky one.
This is.
Especially since it starts at 11 a.m. in Arkansas.
11? I didn't know that.
11 in the morning. Yeah. I'm not crazy big on Bo Nix. We actually beat him last year at home with South Carolina, and Arkansas is still a good football team, even though they got routed by Georgia. I'm gonna pick Arkansas in this one.
Good pick. Dave?
Arkansas all the way. It's going to be a close game. Arkansas could pull away, maybe win by 10 in the late. I think Arkansas is better than Auburn. I think Arkansas is severely underrated and at home. And like you said, 11 a.m. A lot of the times, these out west opponents, and Alabama is obviously not as far out west as South Carolina would be. But that's like I told you, when Arky played us at 12, to them that's early.
Yeah.
Really early. I'm gonna take Arkansas here, and that time frame also gives them a little bit of advantage.
And I'm also going to roll with the Razorbacks, coming off, I think, 2 straight losses now. And Bo Nix, he's definitely looked a lot better this year, especially when it comes to turning over the ball. And but he's not really seemed to be that guy that can take over a game, which I think is what it's going to take for him to beat Arkansas. So I'm going with Arkansas.
Clean sweep. I'm going Arkansas as well. Arkansas could have won that game last week if not for. I mean,
I'm going to say should have.
Yeah, I mean they went for the 2, which I still agree with the call.
I like the call.
Don't agree with the play call, but I agree with going for it.
I like the call.
But yeah, Arkansas pretty easily, I think. All right, Cam. Ole Miss at Tennessee.
Tennessee is always a house of horrors for everybody over in Neyland, but I'm going to go with Ole Miss. I think Ole Miss has got something to prove on offense on the road, and I think Lane Kiffin's going to. I think he's going to outcoach Heupel in this one. And Tennessee's defense is not that good. We made them look great. South Carolina did, but Ole Miss is very good on offense, and I think they've got something to prove, especially after getting trucked by Alabama and coming away real close last week. So
Dave?
I'm gonna go with Ole Miss.
Here's the thing, man. Neyland is a tough place to play. It really is. And you could say that for almost any SEC home except for Vanderbilt. I think Bowling Springs High School has a bigger stadium than Vanderbilt. But
they probably have more fans.
Seriously, no joke, it's close. But man, I just think the Ole Miss offense is gonna be too much. I don't really see Tennessee stopping Matt Corral on that offense. I think it's gonna be a very high scoring game. Matter of fact, I would say the point total between both teams could go over 100. This is going to be a high-scoring game. It's going to be a shootout. I think Tennessee keeps it close, but I'm going to take Ole Miss.
Yeah, I'm as well going to go with Ole Miss. And as much as Lane Kiffin's arrogance kind of gets on my nerves sometimes, he's definitely a great coach. And they got a great offense, as both David and Cam said. And now Tennessee has definitely looked a lot better since Hendon Hooker's become their quarterback. I think it's close for about a half, but I think Ole Miss pulls away and wins the game.
As much as I'd like to make it another clean sweep, as I've already alluded to in our upset alert of the week, I'm going with Tennessee.
I like the pick.
I'm picking
It's not a bad pick.
No, it's
yeah,
not.
I agree with what you said, as in Tennessee has a bad defense, but so does Ole Miss. I agree with what Dave said as well. I think it's a high scoring game, but I like Tennessee and 3-point win over Ole Miss.
It's possible for sure.
It's only a 2.5-point spread.
Yeah,
I'll just throw this in there. This has nothing to do with anything, but I think Tennessee will play a closer game to Georgia than anybody else in the regular season.
I can see that. Where do y'all play them at?
Neyland.
Yeah, I can see that. Florida at LSU. Who you taking, Cam?
I'm taking Florida. I like Coach O, but I think Florida's going to pull this one out.
Coach O
LSU,
fan?
Go Tigers.
That's
I just don't.
pretty good.
I don't think that they just don't have it this year. They just don't.
Yeah.
And Florida needs to win out to prove themselves in the SEC and try to get in the national championship race. I don't think they will.
Yeah.
But they need to win this one. This is one they have to win.
Yeah.
Right.
Dave?
Man, here's the thing. Over the last however many years, no matter how good Florida is or how bad LSU is, LSU finds ways to beat Florida.
At home, too. That's true.
And it's at LSU, but Florida's significantly better than LSU. LSU's in shambles right now. I'm a fan of Coach O's personality. I'm not a fan of his coaching ability. I'm going to take Florida in this one. Wouldn't be shocked to see LSU win, despite the fact they're terrible this year.
Yeah, I as well am going to go with Florida. And really, to me, what interests me the most about this game, if Florida does go into Death Valley and beat LSU and beats them bad, I mean, that heat's going to be turned up heavy on Coach O. And I'd love to see the conversation after that.
Yep. I'm as well going Florida, clean sweep, and I think this is it. I think this is the straw that
They get out after this?
Yep. I mean, I don't see how you can.
LSU fans hate Florida.
Yeah, I don't see how you can be 3-4, especially if it's a blowout. If they get
Now, if
blown
it's a
out,
close game.
Yeah, if they get blown out by Florida, which I think it could get.
I'll throw this in there.
I'm taking Florida.
If I remember right, Auburn and LSU, LSU's run defense is terrible.
It is. And that's what Florida can do is run the ball.
That Florida is going to have 250 rush
They've
yards.
got a running quarterback.
That's the thing. That's like playing Lamar Jackson and letting him run.
Yeah.
You're going to lose every single time. I think this is going to be ugly.
All right, so now for our game of the week. Give us. I feel like Georgia's always the game of the week now.
Wow.
But Kentucky at Georgia. Who you taking, Cam, and the score?
And the score. I say Georgia.
I was going to say, whoa, we're going big.
I hate Kentucky.
Like, man, I'd hate to let everybody know we lost our sponsor.
Bad as bad as Florida fans hate LSU. I can't stand Kentucky. But now I think Georgia, and I think it's bigger than people think. 35-14.
Dave?
Here's the deal.
I don't have to ask you who you're picking, but
Here's the deal. This game's not going to be close. It's going to be close till about 3:30 Saturday. The score will be tied until Georgia says otherwise. Game's not going to be close. Kentucky prides herself on running the ball. I will say this: Kentucky gives us a good game every year. They play good physical ball, but they've never been able to do anything on us offensively. They're going to stop our offense early on. We're going to roll with Stetson again, I believe, and I think we should. Here's the deal. If the offense really struggles and they put JT in, Kentucky may as well leave. It's over at that point. Their best bet is leaving Stetson in. As long as Stetson plays another good game, I'm going to take Georgia 38, and I'm going to give Kentucky a 3-pointer late.
And I agree. I don't think it's going to be very close. I think Kentucky's defense is good enough early on to maybe force a couple field goals instead of touchdowns. But I think long term, Georgia wins the game 34-6.
I as well. Rolling with the Dogs. Best defense I've seen in a long time. And Brother Tim said it well last week that this Georgia team seems like the 2019 LSU and the 2020 Alabama. That it's them and everybody else.
And the thing is, we don't have our people. We don't have our starting quarterback. We don't have our best wide receiver.
Yeah, and it seems like if there's ever been a year for Georgia to win it, it's this year.
No doubt.
And I'm not saying it has anything to do with the lack of talent by the other teams, but with Clemson falling off this year, Alabama's not where they usually are.
No doubt.
If Oklahoma's in a QB battle.
Yep.
If there's a team to win it, or if there's a year to win it, it's this year. But I'm gonna roll with the Dogs 34-10. I think they get an early touchdown off a big play, maybe a trick play or something, and then get a late field goal. 34-10. So. But that wraps up the show. Thank you, Cam, for being a part of it. Thank you for being on set with us.
Appreciate it.
But
it was fun. Hope we get to do it again.
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, I like the picks. We'll see. Like I said, what we were going to do is whoever has the best record, we'll do something for the guest picker. Whoever gets the best record. But
Kyle went 6-0.
Kyle did go 6-0.
Man, that was an easy week.
I think with these picks, I mean, I like Kim's picks. I think he has a chance to go 6-0 for real.
Yeah.
I hope so. Because I'm going to call Kyle and let him know.
Oh, yeah. and just for the fact that you watch our show and we don't think Kyle does. So, I mean, yeah.
That's true.
I don't watch Kyle's show.
Oh, what? I'm not going to say that.
I'm sorry.
Until next
Sometimes
time,
I do.
keep talking ball.
Hey, if you're still watching
What's
this
the word of
point,
the day?
say Silverado.
Silverado.
Silverado.